We're having a discussion about whatever we want to. Um, so if anybody's here now, some people were talking about Forrest Gump earlier. This guy from Japan, this guy from Japan of all people, and he looked. I mean, and he was a very peculiar man. He didn't like the fact that I was telling him I didn't believe he was who he was saying that he was. And so the thing of Forrest Gump came up. And so I had to look up to see the name of, I forgot the guy's name in the movie. His name was Wesley, who was pimping out Jenny. And I would have never thought that he was from Japan, but maybe he was. In that era of Vietnam, just maybe he was. I don't know. Um, because Jenny, she liked Forrest. He was autistic. And I'm still not sure how Forrest got into the military. I never could figure that part out, how Forrest Gump got into the military, being autistic. Because if he was mentally retarded. Now, the only thing I could think, we're having a discussion here about some freedom of speech with the powwow, how now, brown cow, and Forrest Gump. You know, because the guy from earlier, what was his name? Gay guitar guy or whatever his name is, key guitar guy. And so I didn't realize till a few minutes ago either that Donald Trump was in Japan having some meeting or something like that. Now he did say Donald did say that he didn't know that that Donald said he didn't know that anybody had been arrested for freedom of speech. He says he doesn't know anyone personally who has been arrested for freedom of speech. Hello, Varambat, Vikrambat, Vikrambat. I'm hanging in here. How are you? And so we're having a discussion. I was having a little discussion with myself about Forrest Gump a little bit, so we can talk about pretty much anything and that you want to. Hello, Joe Rivera Castellano and Vic. I am not showing my face. No, I am not showing my face. Carlos in corruption. What happened? Thank you, Vikrambot. I'm not sure where you guys are at because I get a combination of people from around the world. I'm just not showing my face. I don't think that it's necessary. I have a reason, but I'm not going to share that reason because nobody wants to hear my reason on why I don't want to show my face. I don't know how old you are because sometimes I get snibbling little whiny kids in here. And so they lack rationalization and reason. So without knowing how old people are and where they are in life, it makes it challenging for me to even explain things on the internet. And so I have a very hard time, talking about things. And I'm not going to show my face because people are mean. They've been very, very mean the past 4 years or so. And so I just don't find that it's necessary. And so are you here just to have a conversation or are you here just looking to pick up women? Because I'm finding the ones who want to see someone's face just want to pick up women. So they want to look at some woman on the internet and they want to play around with their Bo Diddley. And it's like, I'm not interested in that, so if you just want to play around with your Bo Diddley instead of have an adult conversation, you might want to think about your priorities related to what you're doing on the internet. I'm in the United States. Where are you from, Vikram Butt? Where are you from, Vikram Butt? Are you in the United States or are you from like Vietnam or something like that? You might be some guy who is probably. Are you in Japan? Okay, so we were talking about Forrest Gump, and so what I was talking about with myself about Forrest Gump was that I was reminded of Forrest Gump because what I had said was that Jenny liked Forrest, but she was being teased because of Forrest, and or Jenny was kind of out sowing her oats a little bit too. But the guy who was pimping Jenny out was his name was Wesley in the movie Forrest Gump. So Key Guitar Loop um, was talking about Forrest Gump, and I had told Kay, I said, "You're in Japan. How in the world would you know about Forrest Gump?" And he said that they watched a lot of Forrest Gump with subtitles, which I thought was kind of funny. Oh, you do like my stream? Thank you, Carlos and Corruption Corporation, not Corruption Corporation. I, I was misreading that. Thank you. I'm glad you like my stream. I mean, you guys are welcome to ask questions, write about things, ask about things. If you'd like to have an open, honest dialogue about, um, things that you want to get off your chest. Or confessions would be great. Confessions. Um, you know, I'm And if you'd like to subscribe, or if you want something that's artsy fartsy, I mean, I'm just doing kind of a combination of things right now, trying to get a feel for the new YouTube because it seems like there's been being a lot of changes and things taking place, and YouTube is changing things very quickly at times. Some things are a quick change, and some things are not a quick change, and so, YouTube is one of those things I've realized right now. Once they got things put in place, it's kind of like the more it changes, the more it stays the same because the basic premise of YouTube is kind of still there, only it's gotten harder for some reason. And I don't know why. I don't know why. But, it's gotten harder. Now, do we want to talk about the Fed chair, the interest rates remaining the same? I don't know. I mean, because I know there's a big discussion about the Fed chair and how he is saying he knows that there is a 2% inflation rate year over year. And so he decided to keep the rates the same. However, that still doesn't lower inflation. So if we look at inflation year over year for the past 50 years, we have 2% inflation year over year. And so I think that maybe I was not being fair when the Fed would have his quarterly reports and he was talking about 2% inflation. So I was actually thinking, well, if we look at it quarterly, then or per year, there's 4 quarters in a year. And so then that's like 2% inflation each quarter. So that's 2468. 2468 is 8% inflation over the year, which a lot of people have said that we do have 8 to 9% inflation for the year. So anyone have any questions? This is what I should do is I need to put all messages on. Okay, did I miss any messages? I don't think I did. Show your face. So, and so I was just kind of reminded that Forrest Gump rescued Jenny from a violent man. And so, and now Forrest knew Jenny before. I don't know if Forrest Gump is playing on TV again this week or not. I haven't scrolled through anything to see if Forrest Gump is playing on TV again because I know well, the guy from Japan, he said he watched Forrest Gump like 100 times with captions on it, closed captions in his native tongue. And so it sounds like he might have learned some English from that. But I know I never learned Japanese, though, or Chinese, when we would have the Godzilla shows and we would have Chinese captions on our TV. And So that's what they would do, is put the Chinese captions on the TV, and then we got movies from foreign countries like Godzilla. And it was kind of funny, because we were getting movies from foreign countries that were put on the Friday night TV shows and Saturday night TV shows. And it would be fun, actually, if cable TV, I think cable TV, like broadband TV, they should start showing old Godzilla shows, the shows from the 1940s, all black and white TV. I think that would be kind of cool if they did that for a couple of months and showed old-fashioned TV, because I'm sure they've got it archived somewhere. That would be a lot of fun. I mean, and get rid of those commercials. I hate the commercials. I don't hate all the commercials, I won't say that, but I hate the endurance commercials, and that, where they say that you got an insurance company and it's going to pay $14,000 towards a new engine. I'm thinking that just smells to me to be fraud all over the whole thing. It just does. And so, well, I think I'm going to end my live stream right now. I think I've live streamed long enough. And we'll do another one a little bit later. If anyone has any questions they want to talk about, anything like that, leave a comment in the comment section below. And you can leave comments once I make my live stream public. You can leave comments too if you'd like to. But I am going to make my live stream public here as soon as I shut it off and as soon as it renders and processes. It does take a little bit. Sometimes it might take 24 hours for the live stream to finish its processing so that everything is all however it's supposed to be. But only the YouTube gurus have insight to that. I sure don't. And so, okay, well, since no one has anything to say, I'm done talking to myself for right now, and we'll see you the next time.